So it turns out that being a blowout was not actually the worst part of the recent Commanders and Lions game. No, it involved Donald Trump, as everything apparently has to, is when he decided to wander his way into the broadcasting booth and show how much he doesn't know anything about the game. It's really just there for himself. And so we're gonna get to that. But first, let's go to a fan recording of what happened when Donald Trump appeared on one of the Jumbotrons. Now, I don't know exactly why they were yelling boo earns. I assume, JR, he's one of the players. Was the quarterback a boo earns?
They want to make sure that they shout out their own people. Any kind of support from the crowd is always appreciated. I think he got fired up after that.
Yeah, well, so that didn't look good for him. But as we said, he of course then went looking for people who would maybe treat him with a little bit more respect. So he went to the Fox Sports broadcasting booth, and the broadcaster Jonathan Vilma said, "We were trying to look up your stats." Trump cuts in to say, "Oh no, that's bad." Vilma says, "How many touchdowns did you have back then, back when Donald Trump was a football player? 6, 7? Trump hesitated, then laughed. "I'm not sure I had any. It's a long time ago. At least you realize that I never tell a lie, right?" I do not realize that, I wanna be clear. What I would guess is happening here is that he knows damn well that he never had a touchdown. And unlike his tax records, what happened in the Epstein files, his academic record in college, this might be public information. So he doesn't wanna tell, I guess, a demonstrable lie, although admittedly, that's never stopped him in the past on that. So he admitted that he never got a touchdown or whatever. He evidently did play for 4 years. This is at the New York Military Academy, 1959 and 1964. That was 4 years before a diagnosis of bone spurs in his heel helped him to avoid service in Vietnam. Evidently, they were late in life developing bone spurs. They didn't stop him from playing sports before or after Vietnam. It just for that period stopped him from physical activity, unfortunately. And bear in mind that stadium of fans who are booing him, he wants his name all over that. He apparently thinks that the Washington Commanders should name their planned stadium $3.7 billion, which you could get like 3 ballrooms for that. He wants that to be named after him, and a senior White House official said that had been conveyed to the investors' ownership group. It's what the president wants, and it will probably happen. Karen Levitt said that would be a beautiful name, as it was President Trump who made the rebuilding of the new stadium possible. So there's no comment yet from the team. Do you think that's likely to happen? I haven't been following this. What do you think?
It can't. There's no way it can. I don't know the logistics, the process, or any of the things, or which people could potentially be in charge for kissing his ass to do something like that. But all it would do is get it vandalized. I guess they're gonna put a statue of him outside the stadium as well, wearing football unis and all that stuff, so he can try and live up whatever kind of dream he thinks he's got. But hey, John, remember? There's this guy, he used to play football, he hasn't played since. His name was Colin Kaepernick. I remember he had these protests at football games during the national anthem, where he would kneel because he wanted to draw attention to like over policing and violence from our police officers, murdering and assaulting black folks on a regular basis. I remember that, and I remember a whole bunch of people would say things like, "We don't want politics in our football. We escape politics on Sundays to go and watch football. We don't want to see anything political on Sundays." But this sorry son of a bitch shows up at games, gets booed, and at least there's that consistency of people not wanting their politics in football, except it wasn't politics with Kaepernick, it was like human life. But still, this guy shows up, and then after he gets booed, then runs up into the box to talk about some more, politics, because that's what we care about at football games, is politics, not whether or not the Commanders are getting their asses kicked by the Lions again. It's politics. Isn't it weird how suddenly politics is not an issue? MAGA Republicans, whenever this guy shows up to carry out some more political, opportunistic moments where, by the way, don't even work for his ass.
Yeah.
Has he ever shown up anywhere where people didn't boo him out of the stadium?
UFC seems to like him, I guess. I'd love for him to show up at a WWE event because I feel like he would probably get pretty booed there. But yeah, I like it as a reminder that no, most people don't actually like him and they don't necessarily want to see him. And I think it's important for him to get that reminder because he spends most of his time at Mar-a-Lago and his own golf courses.